let's get into it. What's up, everybody? This is SMH Podcast. I am your host, Shania. Thanks for joining me for another episode. Clap it up for yourselves. Yay. I'm so happy for you guys to be here. So happy for another episode. I'm going to keep these episodes back and back. You know, I be a little bit busy, so I do be trying to record them on like my off times and all that. So when I do schedule them to be posted, they can be posted on time and all that. The last two were not posted on time, so I do apologize, but these next few will be posted on time, I promise y'all. But follow me on my social media. You know, you can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is SMH Podcast 96. I am on Twitter. The tag for it is SMH Podcast 1. That is the tag for Twitter, SMH Podcast 1. And I'm also on YouTube, SMH Podcast 96. You can follow me on Instagram, and all the links is in my bio. Links is in my bio to all my other like directories, to all my streaming platforms. You know, if you are listening to this podcast, wherever you're listening to it, you know, if you have a favorite streaming platform that you normally go to, you can check it out on my Instagram page for the link and all that. And I'm also on Facebook as well too, a Facebook group. It's SMH Podcast 96. But we're going to get into the episode, and you know we're going to get into our first topic, and that is what's for tea. There's been a lot going on, y'all. The tea has been hot. Like, it's been hot, y'all. Piping hot. So we're gonna get into this tea time. And first up for tea, I gotta backtrack something that I said last week because the story is still developing. But at the end of the day, it is a real topic, and I really wanted to bring it to discussion because I really don't know what's going on, and I am going to do my digging for y'all so that I can make sure I get the correct information, because I brought it up because it is a real topic and it has to do with sex trafficking. The story was that Blac Chyna had invited this young lady over. I guess she's an OnlyFans content creator, and they were going to do some work together, and the girl ends up saying that Blac Chyna pretty much tried to sex traffic her. What ended up happening is the girl, posted I guess a video of a picture. She was on TikTok. She made a TikTok about all of it, but she posted a picture of like a sign on like a door saying like, oh, this is Blac Chyna's house, and the pretty much rules to the house and whatnot. So I wasn't really believing the story because it just sounded a little fishy to me. And then immediately Blac Chyna, she lawyered up and all of that. So I didn't really hear much about it after that until another post of a video came out of, I guess, some girl leaving like Blac Chyna's hotel room and them kind of getting into it and all that. And it seemed kind of fishy. And there was this guy in the background like, oh, she wouldn't let her out. Like, it was kind of weird. So I'm going to get into that because it's a real topic, it's crazy. Like, I hope that's not happening. I hope that's not what's going on. I hope Blac Chyna would not be doing something like that because she has a daughter herself. And allegedly, this is all allegedly, y'all. I don't know if this is real or not. Like I said, Blac Chyna, she lawyered up. She has a lawyer right now. So I'm pretty sure they're going to go through everything, because I just want to understand what happened too as well. Like, I just hope she's not doing that, and I hope this girl isn't lying, but it doesn't really sound like the girl's lying anymore. I don't know, y'all. And I have to stay on the fence about it because I don't know what's going on, and we're going to get the facts and we're going to go through it. And yeah, because that is some real stuff. As women, we shouldn't be participating in something like that at all. So to just even think that, I don't want to get off the subject, but moving forward, next up for tea is Kyrie Irving. He is being pretty much blackballed out of the NBA now, because of a post that he made, which was they deemed as anti-Semitic. And so now the NBA and some of his sponsors, Nike, have cut ties with him and have NBA has suspended him indefinitely without pay, and Nike has cut their deal with him. So he's getting a lot of backlash, and he recently posted an apology about the whole thing, saying that what he posted he didn't know had fake information in it, and so he's sorry for, the misguided information he put out there. I'm gonna say I feel like Kyrie Irving is very intellectual and very woke. When it came to the whole COVID stuff, he didn't want to take the shot, and they all tried to make him take the shot. They tried to suspend him and all that, and I don't really believe in taking the whole COVID vaccine either. Sorry, the COVID shot, the vaccine. But it's personal reasons, and I don't know. I feel like Kyrie has knowledge of other stuff that not everybody else is open to or has been experienced to, and he also has a different background, not to mention that. So I just feel like Kyrie knew what he was doing, but it came off wrong, and now they're trying to do what they did to Kanye, pretty much blackball him. Because it's funny how Adidas and Balenciaga is now partnering up together, and they had a long time deal with Kanye, and they were he was their best, he was their top seller for them, so it's Kanye brought Adidas back. He was making Balenciaga popular. And so at the end of the day, it's crazy how when we as Black people speak out about, I guess, our experiences and all of that, or when other people talk bad about our race, it's not, you don't feel it as much as when, I guess, someone is anti-Semitic or a homophobic or transphobic, or just against the whole LGBT community. It's different. When Black people are talked about, the repercussions to people's life isn't to the magnitude as everybody else group, I guess. Social group is what I'm saying. Even race. But moving on, next up for tea, I wanted to share this because I really want y'all to be safe out there. There is a lot going on, and I want y'all to be safe as much as possible. Listen, even though I don't believe in the vaccine, hey, if you want to go take it because you feel like it's going to protect you and your family, go take it. Do what you got to do and whatnot. I'm not judging you. Nobody needs to judge you over that decision and whatnot. But all I'm saying is I'm not taking it. But at the same time, you should be protecting yourself when you're having sex. Oh my God. If you didn't know, there is a man in Oklahoma City. He is accused of knowingly spreading HIV after being diagnosed in 2019. Since 2019, he has been openly knowingly having sex with women and spreading HIV. So then a woman responsible for putting the Oklahoma man behind bars for allegedly spreading the HIV speaks out and says that he told her it's not a big deal when she shared her diagnosis. It's not a big deal, sir? No, that's a very big deal. Because at the end of the day, HIV can turn into AIDS. It can, over time, it will turn into that if it's not treated correctly, if you're not taking the proper medicine, if you're not doing what your doctor says, because that is incurable. And knowingly spreading it is not okay. You're not supposed to do that. That is a very harmful disease to people's body, and it can affect people differently. The effects of it can affect people differently. The stories that I've heard, there was this man that came to my high school who got it from, I guess, his girlfriend, and he said that one day he was on his way to a job interview, and he ended up shitting on himself. He shitted on himself because his bowels were just uncontrollable. I guess that's like one of the side effects or some shit. Like that shit was crazy. When I heard that, I was like, oh my god, he was like fully in a suit and all that, and he was like, yeah, I was on my way there, and then all of a sudden my stomach just and then I let go, and I had to drive back home and change my suit. I was like, oh, that poor guy, that poor man, that poor man, that must be dreadful. Because I mean, I've never experienced it, but I'm pretty sure that's pretty hard to go through. I've peed on myself a little bit, but I'm a woman, it happens. Sometimes too much liquor, too much water, it happens. But we all have embarrassing moments. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, it's just like we can't just be knowingly spreading diseases around just because you don't care about your life. You should let other people care about their lives at the end of the day, but you should not just carelessly not care, about other people and just do what you want to do at the end of the day. Like, it's very selfish. It's very selfish to just be like, it's not a big deal. It is a big deal because this is going to affect me. I can have kids who can have it. Like, what about future partners and all that? Like, it affects a lot. So don't just because you don't care about your life, care about the other people in their lives. Like, if you have the disease, like, at the end of the day, I keep calling it disease. It's a sexually transmitted infection. Sexually transmitted infection. If you have it, I from what I remember, you can't contract it from kissing. You can't contract it from saliva, but you can contract it from like blood, and all of that. We have to be safe out here, and we have to be also courteous to other people and not just be careless because we want to be careless ourselves. Be mindful of the things that we do and just talk to the other person that you're having that activity with. And don't just be like, it don't matter. At the end of the day, it does matter because you're affecting that person's life, and then that person's affecting another person's life, and it's a ripple effect. It becomes a big old ripple effect, and then now we're having a big old epidemic where everybody has HIV because we all unknowingly just didn't care. And that's not okay. That's not okay. We shouldn't be careless and free to do whatever we want and just careless about other things. Like, we need to care a little bit more, and just saying it doesn't matter. It matters, sir. It very much matters, sir. And I hope you are right to put him behind bars because that is not okay. Sorry, guys. Moving on. Next up for tea. I know we're still on tea time, but next up for tea, honestly, this is going to lead into the topic for discussion. But next up for tea is surprisingly a story I really didn't even want to do. I really did not want to do this because of what it stands for. I do not condone domestic violence at all. In no way, shape, or form when it comes to men or women. I don't condone a woman hitting a man, and I don't condone a man hitting a woman. I don't like it. I don't like it. Like, I can understand being playful and all that, because I'm playful and shit but I don't, aggressively, no. No. I don't like it. So, it's a topic I wasn't going to bring up. But, it has to do with Krishan Rock and Blueface. Up for tea. Them up for tea. One, I guess what had happened was, this is what's sparking and spiraling right now. What happened is Krishan got on live, and I guess she was talking about how Blueface punched her in the face. I guess she was drunk. What had happened, she was drunk, she was trying to get out the car, and he punched her in the face to prevent her from getting out the car. And she started a live, and she was like, I'm not going to save you anymore. I'm telling the world what you did to me. Her face was swollen. You could see she was bleeding, and it looked pretty bad. It looked pretty bad. And so she said she wasn't going to save him anymore. She was going to tell the world what he's always doing to her, which we all know, honestly. It's not a secret. Sis, it's really not a secret. I mean, y'all put this out on the internet, and we knew that from when he had a bald spot, and y'all showed us that broken down door. We knew that when y'all get on live every time this shit happens. Like, we knew that when we seen that fight and you punched him, dragged him like a little boy, and then he knocked the fuck out of you and y'all both fell on the floor. Like, we knew this, sis. We know y'all beat each other up. We know this, sis. We knew this. So you didn't have to come out about it because this is something we knew. The LA Sheriff's Department is doing an investigation on y'all. So we knew this. But at the end of the day, I'm sorry. But at the end of the day, she came out about it. And then the next day, she said that it didn't happen. Well, not that it didn't happen, but the story was wrong. She has the story wrong or whatever. Pretty much taking back what she was saying, and that he didn't hit her to hit her. He hit her to prevent her from getting out the car, and she was too lit, and she's always blaming it on her being drunk and all this and that. And then yeah, more happened after that. Pretty much she blamed it on having a bad trip or whatever. She blamed it on having a bad trip. So more happened after that. She got I guess back with Blueface. But Blueface was pretty mad at her, I guess, for saying what she said about him hitting her and whatnot. So they've been going back and forth online, like a whole bunch of shit. It's been a whole bunch of back and forth, and now the baby mama is Jaden Alexis is in it. I don't even want to get into all that, because at the end of the day, the moral of the story is, what more what I'm trying to understand is what more does she want out of this relationship? If this is a real relationship, I don't know. Sometimes I don't know if this is for publicity. Sometimes I don't know if they do shit for views or if they do it for their TV show, which I hope they're not really doing this for their TV show, because that's sickening if they're really doing this for that TV show and they're really doing all this for money, because that's sad at the end of the day. Because honestly, looking from the transition from like her high school, I guess her college pictures, to like her now, she looks completely different. Like, she sounds different. She looks different. Like, I just feel bad for her. Now I just feel bad for her, really. I really just feel bad for her. But my whole question, and I guess the topic for the podcast, was really just, what are we really willing to do for our relationships? Like, what are we really willing to go through? Like, what is our bottom line? What is our rock bottom? What is going to be our last straw to where we're just like, fuck it, I'm done with this, to go? Because it's like, if publicly being embarrassed isn't enough, if publicly being abused isn't enough, if publicly being shamed isn't enough, if publicly being embarrassed, I think I've already said that, isn't enough, what does it take? Because if that's happening publicly, I can only imagine what's happening privately. Because at the same time, this is all done on social media. So this is all, what we see and all that, what they want us to see at the end of the day. But also, too, their personal life gets leaked because they either leak it or other people leak it that's around them. So we kind of see what's going on and whatnot. And for me, it's like, what more are you looking for? Because if it's just sex and money that you're getting out of it, and clout and popularity, then that means nothing. Because I just can't believe that it's just for clout and money. And honestly, that is just terrible if it is, because what more clout and fame do you think you're going to get from putting out such a negative connotation to yourself, because the imagery that you're spreading and showing to people, at first it came off as obsessive love, like cute obsessive love, and everybody wanted to be like Krishan and Blueface, like, oh, they're so cute, my bitch gotta be like Krishan, like, you ain't loving me right if you ain't like Krishan. And it's like, okay, that's cute, but it's also toxic as well too, hearing the shit that she was doing, like breaking into his house, writing in blood on his wall, stealing his car and driving to another state for her mom. It's like, and then also, not to mention, she abuses him too. If we don't remember, like, Blueface posted a picture of him and his kid, and he had a black eye. So it's like, the both of them, what are they both getting out of this? Other than putting a negative image on themselves and putting a negative image out there to the world and all that. Because at the end of the day, I wouldn't want my kid to look up to these people as relationship girls. And I don't think any grown people should look at them as relationship girls. That's not relationship goals. That's toxicity at its finest. Because one minute she's screaming, oh my gosh, I don't want to be with him, he's always doing this to me, blah, blah, blah. And then the next minute it's like, I'm never leaving him, I love him. And I get that's the ups and downs of relationships, but that's toxic love. It should not be that up and down and quick that fast, because it's literally next day type shit. It's what, and at the end of the day, he don't want to be with nobody. And that's the crazy part. He keeps saying that. He keeps saying, I'm going to do what I want to do. So it's like, what more do you want out of this other than what you're getting? And what do you expect to get out of it? Because I know what you're going to get. More embarrassment, more shame, more negativity. You're just going to keep going downwards. Like, it's just going to keep going downwards unless you get out of this whole situation. Because, and I just really want to, like, think about it. Because, like, for me, it's like we all set boundaries for ourselves when we get into relationships. It's like what we want, what we don't want to deal with, and what we do want to deal with. And, you know, the things that we do want to deal with certain people and all that. And what we are going to put up with. And so for me, it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, I don't like you not matching your words to your actions. Like, that's one thing that will, like, be a line for me. Like, if you don't match your words with your actions, then that's the thing that will be like, well, I can't really fuck with you. Because if you say something and you don't do what you say, then that just means you're just saying shit to say it. Like, you don't actually mean what you say. And if you're doing shit but you don't know why you're doing it, then I can't fuck with you either, because you're just doing shit and you don't even know why you're doing it. You don't have a clear vision of why you're doing it. You're just doing shit to do it, so you just doing whatever. You'll do whatever because you don't know why you're doing it in the first place. So I just, for me, I want somebody with a clear vision of not just themselves, but what they want in life as well too. So that's why we create boundaries and have these things before we go into relationships. Like, if I want to be with somebody, I want to be with somebody with morals and values and goals of this and that and the third, and has this type of outlook on life, and not just focused on, oh, they make this money, and oh, they make me feel like this, and oh, they do this and that. And it's not about that. If you're just focused on that, then you really shouldn't even be in a relationship, because you're focused on the wrong thing of a relationship, if that's just the main focus of it. Because yeah, those things are good too, of course, but what's also going to get you through life as well? Like, what's going to get you through life? Somebody that's just seducing you all the time, or somebody that's just there for money all the time, or somebody that actually makes you think, or somebody that actually values your opinion, somebody that actually wants to see you strive to get to your goals, and you want to see them get to their goals, and, you know, and your kids' goals and all that. Like, really think about what we're doing, y'all. What are we doing? Is this how we want to live? Toxic? Is this what we want to praise as toxic? That it's okay to hit your significant other if you're upset with them just because they don't do what you want or you don't do what they want all the time? That's not okay. It's not okay to put your hands on somebody because they don't do what you want or because you're so frustrated you don't know how to use your words enough to articulate it to be like, oh, well, I'm upset for this. And even if you can't do that and you need to shut down and just internalize it for a little bit and then go somewhere and then come back and talk about it, then do that. If you need to write it down, do that. If you need to sing it out, do that. If you need to scream it out, do that. But do something other than putting your hands on somebody. Like, because watching her in interviews too, it's cringy to me. It's cringy to me hearing her. She's like, yeah, like he ain't doing what I want him to do. I'm a hit you like a nigga. Like, you not my nigga no more. Like, what? No, you shouldn't be doing that. Why would you do that? Because if he hit you, you would have a problem with it. Like, she has a problem with it now, but she goes back and forth because of the, I don't know, money, the clout, the sex. I don't know. She goes back and forth with it because one day he hits her, next day she doesn't. So I don't really know, y'all, what it's gonna take for her to want to get out of this situation, to want to better herself, because nobody knows her music like that. Like, some people do, some people really don't. Like, I don't listen to her. I think I've heard one of her songs because it was on like the Zeus thing on Instagram, because I follow their Instagram. But other than that, I've never heard any of her other music. Blueface even fell off for music. I don't even think that nigga makes music anymore. We know them for fighting and toxicity. Him kicking out relatives and him just being a theater bop. Honestly, he's just a theater bop to me. She just fights everybody because she thinks she can fight the damn world and she can't. It's just toxic, y'all. I don't, what more? And my question is to y'all, what are y'all willing to put up with in a relationship? Are you willing to put up with all of that? If you were Krishan, would you put up with all that? And men, if you were Blueface, would you put up with all that? And vice versa. Y'all can switch roles. Men, you can be Krishan. Would you put up with all that? And women, you can be Blueface. Would you put up with all that? Like, seriously. What are we willing to put up with? Because that's not okay. I don't think it's okay to put your hands on your significant other. I don't think it's okay to publicly embarrass them. I don't think it's okay to rip out a chunk of their hair. I don't think it's okay to fight them just because you're upset with them, just because you don't like what they said, or because you want to steal their phone. And they're like, at the end of the day, listen, he is who he is. He keeps telling you who he is. Stop trying to force him to be somebody he's clearly not. Jesus. It's just crazy. It's toxic, crazy love. And I just wish we all just can get back to the lovey-dovey, what are we doing for date night? Cute couples, love. Let's praise those relationships. I mean, they're not perfect. Nobody's relationship is perfect. I'm not saying relationships are perfect. They're supposed to be perfect. I'm not saying that at all. They're not going to be perfect. You're going to have ups and downs. You're going to have disagreements. You're going to have arguments. You're going to have times where you don't like each other at all. But at the end of the day, what you're not supposed to do is belittle each other, hurt each other, put each other down, make each other feel like you're worthless. Do all the things you say you don't want done. That's not love. It's the opposite. It's toxicity at its finest. But I'm going to wrap up the episode, y'all. Thanks for joining me today. I wanted to thank y'all for joining me for another episode. I had so much fun This was an interesting topic, but I just wanted to really just break it down because it's just not something that's been on my mind. I really didn't want to talk about the topic just because of what it stood for. I don't like domestic violence, but at the same time, it's just like, what are you willing to put up with to go through a relationship? And if it's not that, then stay single, please. Please stay single. Like, it's fun. It's not that bad. It's pretty fun. But at the end of the day, thanks for joining me, y'all. Love y'all. Hope y'all have a great night. Shout out to everybody, that follows my Instagram. Shout out to SMH Podcast 96 on Instagram. You can follow me on Twitter, SMH Podcast 1. That is the @ for Twitter, SMH Podcast 1. I'm on Facebook, SMH Podcast 96 on Facebook groups, if you want to find me, but also on YouTube, SMH Podcast 96. Thanks for joining me, y'all. Love y'all. Can't wait for y'all to hear the next episode. I'm gonna be having a special guest, a couple special guests soon, so get ready for those episodes. I am trying to figure out how to work Twitch. If anybody out there knows how to work Twitch, hit my DMs, please, because I'm trying to get into it, because I want the episode to be live, because I want to interact with y'all. I really want to talk to some of y'all. Like, if y'all want to interact with the episode, have questions, or want to, like, say something and all that, that's why I want to do a live stream. So, working on that. I just need to figure out Twitch a little bit. I did download it and all that. I have it all set up. I'm just trying to figure out how that's going to look and whatnot with all the new changes I got. So, thanks for joining me. Love y'all. Have a good night. And, yeah, we're out.
I'm about to walk this motherfucker, man.